Hello and welcome. I am Yogesh. This is the fourth episode of Getting Started with Lowcoder in Easy Steps. Let's begin where we left off. Now we will wire the to-do form to the submit button so that when the user clicks on the submit button, it will save the to-do information using API to Mockoon Playground. To understand how to save the data, we need to understand the API over here. So if we look closely, the API shows that we need to use post to insert a new object in array, and the ID is auto-generated if it is not provided. So we will not be providing the ID for the to-do entry, so it will get auto-generated. Let's add a REST query. Again, I will enlarge this to make it easier for you to see. And I will say add to-do. This is the name. Now, instead of a get method, we'll have to use the post method, because that is what the document says, that you have to use the post method. Here we'll have to use the same URL. So I will just copy the URL from here over here. Okay, header will be content type. I will just copy paste so it becomes faster for us. Application just on. Okay. Now let's go to the body and select body to be JSON. Below you will get a space where you need to enter the structure of JSON. I will just enter a copy pasted structure over here. We need to provide necessary information over here. So we have 4 fields that we need to send to the API to get saved in the to-do list. So first thing is title. So we need to use the name of the control, which is input one. So I will say input one dot value. Completed by default will be false when the to-do item is created. So we will keep it as false. Priority, we will be using the priority, which is select one. Select one dot value and due date one dot value. As you can see at the bottom over here, the JSON content are shown over here in one single line. Like title is empty because there is nothing over here. Completed is false. Priority is 1 because that is the default value. And due date is also today's date in the internal year, month, day format, because that is exactly what is set over here. I forgot to tell you that we can set the display format of this to show in a particular way. So let's say I want to show this into DDMMYY format. I can say DD, sorry. So now the display format is day, month, and year, but the format or the date written is in day, year, month, and day into a reverse format. But that's the requirement. So we don't have to worry about this. I have done something special over here, and that is I have used a function, a JavaScript function called parseInt. The reason I had to do this is that the value returned by select value is a string, and priority is nothing but a number. You are not supposed to store a string over there. This has to be a value. If we go to get all to do and run it to check, we will observe that it's an integer value and completed is a boolean. Date is a string, title is a string. So to save this to do, we have to set the priority as an integer and not as a string. If we just provide select one dot value, it will set this as a string. But what we require is an integer. So we are using a built-in JavaScript function called parseInt. Okay, let's select the submit button. Now let's add a form event to the submit button. And form event can be added from here. Click on add. This is show a pop-up. Okay, select run a data query and then select add to do. That's it. This is the only thing that we need to set over here. So what will Lowcoder do? That if it will first validate that the form is valid or not. If the form is valid based on the required rule, it will execute the query as per the event that we have defined and call the data query add to. Okay. But once the data is saved, we also need to have some way of being able to refresh the list so that the data is visible to us on the screen once saved. For this, we need to add another event handle in the add to do data query. So I'll click on add. This will show us this pop-up. Here we have got two things: what to do if it fails and what to do if it succeeds. So let's select succeed. So once we select success and we select what to do, we need to run a data query. We'll get an option. We'll just select get all to do. That's it. Now let's try out what we have done. We'll just say test to do. I will select priority of 5 and I will say submit. As soon as I say submit, it will, the Lowcoder shows us that it has added this particular, it has executed the data query. And the data query on successful submission has also called the get all to do. That's the reason why we can see this over here. Test to do. And as you can observe over here, the fields have been reset to the default values. Thank you.